Bitcoin has been bouncing up and down to almost $90,000, back up to almost 95. What's behind the volatility? We're going to talk about that. A lot of buyers stepping in to buy the Bitcoin dip. One large buyer didn't necessarily buy the dip. They kind of bought the top. And you probably already know who it is. That is none other than Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, but two other large companies that are continuing to buy Bitcoin. Who are they and what does that mean? Also, Grayscale just released their top 20 tokens they believe will have a very strong quarter one. Which ones are they? Which ones do we agree with? Which ones do we disagree with? We'll talk about that. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum. We're going to take a look at Cardano, XRP. What are some great altcoins to pick up as the market potentially continues to dip? What are some key levels? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto.
It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information and repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin's down. I got nothing else.
I'm down.
Are you?
I'm down to have a badass show today.
Bitcoin did dip down to 91,000 just like 2 hours ago, up to almost 95. So big bounce back.
You know what happened, right?
We launched our show.
I was on Blockchain Basement this morning. And when I joined, 91. When I jumped off, 94. You guys are welcome. You're welcome. That's what I do. Happy to be back in studio. We have a lot of important things to talk about today. So before we jump in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you aren't, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the channel, there's a few of you. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Okay? It's going to be a massive 2025. We're going to make a lot of money. Join us on this journey, all right? Let's start with MicroStrategy. At it again. Another 209 million in Bitcoin. 2,138 BTC has been purchased at an average price of $97,837 per Bitcoin. Which brings their total now to 446,400 Bitcoin, valued at acquired for $27.9 billion, bringing their average cost per Bitcoin to $62,428. This number used to be in the 30s. Their average buy used to be in the 30s. Saylor, if this guy can't time the bottom or the top, what makes you think you can, right? The dude literally could have waited, I don't know, a day and got it at 92, but I don't think he cares. Anyways, Saylor, again. And then, are we going to see another one? Here's this headline. Michael Saylor teases potential Bitcoin purchase ahead of the new year. So a lot of people are saying this was the buy that I just showed. Other people are saying there's another one coming. Wouldn't surprise me if he squeezes another buy in before 2024 is over. I was asked this question on Blockchain Basement this morning. Do I think this is a systemic risk? I don't know. We've kind of had this conversation, but again, it's a free market, right? Free market. If he wants to buy all the Bitcoin, so be it. I think if it gets to a point where it is maybe a handful of people, whether it's BlackRock via their ETF, people like Michael Saylor, they control the mass amount of supply. You might see some people, some of the OGs, the people that really got into Bitcoin for their specific reasons, start to look elsewhere. Where else are they going to look? I don't know. But any thoughts on Saylor buying the top again?
They're getting closer and closer to 500,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so, what was it, 443,000?
Yeah.
So,
446.
I think last year they were under 400,000.
Last year they were at like 200.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what point in time last year.
Right.
But yeah, when they get 500,000 Bitcoin, it's a pretty monumental number, right? There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. You could argue 2 to 4 million of it will probably be gone forever or lost.
I think right now there's around 4 million that's lost.
Yeah. So, there's always Satoshi. You could always come back.
I don't know.
It's possible. Less and less likely with every passing day. But, it's just interesting. He has so much of the supply. And is it a systemic risk? I mean, it is at some point, right? I mean, at some percentage, something could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Now, as minute as the chance could be for some kind of failure for the management of the Bitcoin, I don't know, maybe some EMP attack. I mean, as small and minute as the chances are,
You can't dismiss it.
Yeah, you can't dismiss it. The chances are not zero that they won't mess up, right? And then there's always the elephant in the room, which is the U.S. government. And this is a publicly traded, and there's no elephant in here. There's a U.S. publicly traded company that operates obviously within the jurisdiction of the U.S. Duh. And so if the U.S. were to say, hey, we're going to seize your Bitcoin, hand it over, legally they would have to, right? I mean, I don't know what the legal process of that would be. Would it be an executive order? Would it be congressional action? I'm not sure. But that chance is also not zero as well. We've seen historically, was it Theodore Roosevelt is the one
Who
that
calls
took,
him Theodore? It's Teddy.
whatever. President Roosevelt,
Yeah.
he's the one that took everyone's gold, right?
Yes.
Back in.
Wait, was that No, that was FDR, was it? No, that was Teddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Either way, it wouldn't be the first time that the U.S. government says, hey, we're going to need to take this commodity from you. Everyone that is holding gold right now needs to come turn it in. And so, I don't know. The largest company obviously would fall under that jurisdiction. And, hey, I don't know. What would they do?
Well, Rob, good news is it's not just Saylor. It's his compadres. Genius Group, Genius AI, bought another $10 million worth of Bitcoin for its Bitcoin treasury. And then guess what? Their stock soared 11%. You know what's interesting, Rob? Genius AI. So we've seen Metaplanet. They announce stock price goes up. Genius AI announces their buy, stock price goes up. MicroStrategy stock is down 45%. Not today, but over the last few weeks. And let me see if I can pull this up on CNBC. Their stock is down. What do you think that tells you, Rob, about, their stock today is down 4%. And this is them announcing they bought more Bitcoin. We know historically, we've seen when they announce, their stock price goes up. Now that you're seeing their price go down, but other companies like Genius AI, like Metaplanet, when they announce their stock goes up, do you think this is the market saying, okay, we're starting to get a little worried about the amount you're buying and the amount you hold. We no longer see it as a positive. We're starting to see it as a negative, just strictly looking at the way the stock price is traded versus the other companies that also announce they buy. What are your thoughts?
Also, MicroStrategy has both ends of the field, right? And so they're going to get all the upside of pro-bullish Bitcoin narrative and people longing the market. And as soon as you get a downturn, I mean, you got to think Bitcoin was at one point at 108,000 briefly. It was more around 105,000 for a decent period of time, above 100K for a long period of time. If you were to kind of consider a month a long time. And now we're down to 94,000. So, I mean, it's down, right? And so it's a leveraged play. We're not dismissing that. And even Michael Saylor will tell you, MicroStrategy stock is exactly that. It's a leveraged play on Bitcoin. And so if you want to see more upside returns, buy MicroStrategy. If you want to take on more volatility and more to the downside, it's the same, right? You're not going to get one without the other. So I wouldn't take too much away from it. What's that?
The package deal.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm not done yet. So that's two buyers. Here's the third one. Tether. A lot of Tether FUD. Again, because of the whole MiCA ruling in the EU and Tether getting delisted and yada, yada, yada. Well, Tether just bought 7,600 Bitcoin worth $705 million for their reserves. And they now hold $7.7 billion worth of BTC. We know all the extra revenue they have from, hey, we don't really employ anyone and we make a shitload of money. So what are we going to do with that money? They're buying Bitcoin. Any thoughts on Tether buying Bitcoin? I mean, is this like, is this?
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Right.
When
The answer used to be buy bonds.
That's what I'm saying. You take your money, you don't want to just have your
Money sitting there.
Yeah, you don't want to have your money sitting there. So Tether has a ton of just dollars, right? A ton of value that is just sitting in their little ecosystem in their world, right? And yeah, you can buy and sell and you can mint and whatever it is. But at the end of the day, Tether as a parent company just sitting on billions and billions of dollars. And so the traditional strategy, if that's a thing, or the common playbook, is to buy short-term treasury bonds, which generate a return of somewhere between 2 and 6% on an annual basis. They usually get the 90-day version and then just keep cashing those things in. Now, it's just you're also playing the downside, right? I mean, because you can go 90-day, you can do 90-day return on a treasury bill, or you can hold Bitcoin for 90 days. And so right now during a bull market, I think it's advantageous to buy Bitcoin, because for every Bitcoin you buy now versus a treasury bill now, which one do you think will be worth more in 90 days?
Bitcoin.
More than likely.
But people love the word.
I'm interested to see if the strategy will run in reverse during a bear market. Will Tether sell their Bitcoin and put it into T-bills during a bear market? Because if that's the scenario, then what you end up seeing is more volatility or more downside pressure, right? Let's just say we're at a $200,000 Bitcoin. It's, say, 2026, right? Say it's January, February 2026. We go from 200,000 down to 170. You probably know there's a little steam leaving the market just per the cycles. Tether starts to position out of Bitcoin, moves into T-bills. That sell pressure pushes the price even lower. You get down to 120, 110,000. Who knows? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. People love the word guaranteed. And with U.S. Treasury bills, you're guaranteed to get your 4 or 5, whatever percent. But at the end of the day, people look for ROI, right? You try to find that balance between.
I would argue it's not guaranteed. I mean, the only reason you even say the word guaranteed.
How do you argue? How would you argue that it's not guaranteed?
No, well,
if there's nothing in life is guaranteed.
No. What I'm saying is that we're guaranteed that another block will be minted. I'm guaranteed that if I send you Bitcoin, you'll get it. But there's no guarantee that a offshore company will receive their interest rate payments, like
from the U.S. government.
Okay, what if you were Russia? You think they're receiving any interest payments on theirs? What if you're North Korea? What if you're China? What if you're Iran? I mean, you think that's guaranteed? You think when Iran back 4 years ago was like, let's buy a treasury bond, it's guaranteed? No, it's not guaranteed. Nothing is fucking guaranteed with the U.S. government or any government.
I mean, when you talk about guarantee,
the company also, which is in the crosshairs of U.S. Congress. You don't think they could get sanctioned? You don't think that there could be some kind of And so what happens if Tether has $5 billion in treasury bonds and the U.S. government says that they're operating illegally and the SEC slaps a fine on them and says that they're not allowed to operate or whatever it is? You think they're going to guarantee to get paid their interest payments? No. And so it's not guaranteed. Maybe a financial advisor
is guaranteed.
Well, no. Well, there is one thing that's guaranteed, is that there's going to be another block minted. There's going to be
but that has nothing to do with ROI.
No. But that's what I'm saying, is that from a guarantee perspective, if that's what the word you want to use, you know that there's going to be another block minted, and you know that Congress can't do anything about it. And if you're a company that is Tether, you know that no matter how much you piss off the U.S., no matter who's in Congress, no matter who's the president, that your Bitcoin is still worth exactly what a Bitcoin is worth, and that they can't take it from you. Now, that cannot be said for a treasury bond.
Well, that's if you view Bitcoin as 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Majority of people view 1 Bitcoin equals whatever the price in dollars is denominated.
If it doesn't matter, I mean, it is what it is. You still got a Bitcoin.
I know, but I guess it's just different for who holds it for what reason, right? If Tether's holding it for 90 days because they want the price to go up, then yeah, it matters more than Michael Saylor, who holds it because he thinks 1 Bitcoin will be worth 1 Bitcoin and things will be denominated.
I'm putting myself in the shoes of Tether. If I was a CEO at the company at Tether, what has more risk? treasury bond or Bitcoin. Now, the risk of the treasury bond is it's minute once again, but I will easily argue that there is a lot more risk holding a treasury bond than there is holding Bitcoin for Tether.
Interesting statement.
You truly believe that the U.S. government just happily will let Tether operate and not?
I mean, they have.
How many times have you heard the word Tether in Congress? In these congressional hearings, when they're talking, they're about to shut down TikTok. You don't think that they'll shut down Tether if it gets too big?
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
I'm just saying, think about it, bro.
And I think the interesting point you bring up is, well, not you didn't bring this up, but the interesting point here is that Tether's overhead to run their business is very low. And so when you look at a company that's got a lot of overhead that wants to stick money in reserves in Bitcoin, well, if they need that capital to work when the market's down, or then, yeah, they might need to draw on that. But with someone like Tether, their overhead is very low. They don't have a lot of operating costs.
Yeah,
they don't have a lot of employees.
More than likely, that Bitcoin they're buying is probably a fraction of their reserves, right?
So Bitcoin goes from $100 to, let's say, $40,000. They're not going to worry about getting, a margin called, or they got to sell it to operate. No. Yeah. So yeah, and in that case,
but from a business perspective, they might rotate out if they know that the price is dropping. They're holding a bunch, right? I mean, if you're holding 20% of, let's just say 20% of your portfolio for Tether, right? Even if it's your reserve assets or whatever it is in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's at $500,000. Let's just throw a round number out there. Let's go hella euphoric. Say Bitcoin's at $1 million, and Tether, their company valuation, say 30% of it is in Bitcoin. You don't think that they're going to sell some? Not going to realize some profits? Hell yeah, they are. Somebody's going to buy a yacht.
Okay. Right. Paulo Arduino. So we got a couple super chats. Crickcats said, I'm paying his late fine. We accept your late fine. Thank you so much. Also, this was an interesting question. Wicked. Do you think AI ever gets smart enough to recover the lost Bitcoin?
You can't target specific wallet addresses, right? Seed phrase attack is wide reaching, right? So have you ever put in your wallet address when you recover your seed phrase, right? Let's just say you got a new computer, new wallet, MetaMask, whatever it is, you got a new phone, whatever you do.
Because your seed phrase is not tied to your wallet.
Yeah, but the seed phrase, all you need is your seed phrase. You don't need anything else.
Right, yes.
And so that's the premise. So you can't just snipe out certain wallets by a seed phrase, right? You can't say, oh, this seed phrase works for this one. No, you put in the seed phrase, you get whatever wallet's attached to it. And so to answer your question, will AI eventually get smart enough? I think it will get there with zero action from miners and the Bitcoin bit proposals, right? And so there can be Bitcoin network can circumvent technology, right? As technology advances, you can see what's coming. The miners can have a proposal, or the developers can come up with a proposal. The miners can vote on it. Boom. And then now all of a sudden you can add an extra layer of security that can prevent AI. But you can't just single-handedly target certain wallets. And so eventually computers will get smart enough. We talk about quantum computing. That's kind of around the corner. If you consider 10 years around the corner. And then if that happens, then yeah, they absolutely could. But to target certain wallets and say, oh, the lost ones, the Satoshi's wallet. I want to get Satoshi's wallet. You can't. All you can do is just hack a seed phrase, nail it, and then you get whatever wallet is associated with that. But then if you can hack one, then you just keep repeating, and you just keep hacking over and over and over again until you're compromising the network, getting a wallet.
It's all about computation,
wallet.
Right? Yeah. All right. Thanks for those super chats. I want to just share this real quick, and then we'll get into some market stuff. This is from Bloomberg. BlackRock's Bitcoin fund became the greatest launch in ETF history, has grown to more than $50 billion in assets in less than 1 year. U.S. ETFs played a key role in Bitcoin's rally over 100K. A lot of people also argue the opposite. It's played a key role in Bitcoin's kind of stuck in the mud freaking narrative, right? people are having PTSD. They think, is this going to be 2021 all over again, where we just got a double top and then the market's over? What are your thoughts on that?
Double top, the market's over.
74K and then 108, and then that's it.
So you can't dismiss the power of the U.S. being a net buyer, because remember, Bitcoin as a narrative is still small, right? You go to a restaurant, you go to work, you start talking Bitcoin, you get some TD Ameritrade people hanging out in your little circle, whatever it is, you start talking about crypto. They still don't get it. They still don't even have a position on it. They still don't offer it as a service, like realistically to their clients. Sure, there's ways to get it. You can buy the ETF, but at the end of the day, it is not mainstream yet. Crypto is not mainstream. Maybe the word Bitcoin, maybe the word crypto, maybe the idea of it has sunk in, but there's no position out there for 90% of the people. 90% of Americans are not allocating their savings account, their investing account, and buying Bitcoin with regularity or crypto. It's not here yet. But when the U.S. decides to buy, when the U.S. is a net buyer, when we have a strategic reserve, when we are the epicenter, at least here in the United States, of crypto and innovation, and also the exchanges are the ones here, instead of being abroad in Singapore and Dubai, it's going to be here in the U.S. And at least that's the direction that we're going. And in doing so, I mean, it's going to be glorious, man. Remember, the number one economy in the world is the U.S., followed by number two economy, which is China. China doesn't allow Bitcoin trading. And, there are people that own Bitcoin there, but China doesn't allow it. U.S., well, they try everything in their power to not allow it. And in doing so, you have the two largest economies outside looking in. And so now you're going to let number one economy not only buy crypto, but encourage people to own it. And you guys don't understand how much this market is going to explode. I was watching some other creators over the weekend. They were like, oh man, you know what? Everyone's expecting the U.S. to come in, start a strategic reserve, Bitcoin to go to the moon. They were like, you guys are going to be disappointed just because that's what they want you to believe. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes you get a narrative, everyone gets hopium, you think this is going to happen, everyone's so sure of it, and it just doesn't play out that way, right? It's very common. But in this situation, it is different because the U.S. has so much damn money. They're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin, and other countries are going to do the same. And there's just only so much to go around. It's just supply and demand. You just can't deny it.
It's math.
Yeah, it's math, supply and demand. You can't deny it. Now, if there's a scenario where the U.S. just falls flat, doesn't deliver, they don't buy, they don't do the strategic reserve, that's a different story. But as long as that happens, it's going to be a glorious 2025.
A lot of people are kind of panicking and freaking out. I want to share something real quick. This is from CoinGlass. Okay. This is from CoinGlass. And I want to look at, and Rob kind of showed this last Thursday, but I just want to show you guys some. Okay. So this is the final week of 2024, 52, 53, depending on if it's a leap year or not. This year was a leap year. But let's just take the 52nd week. Okay. The last 4 years, we've seen negative weeks for the last week of the year. This year, negative 1.32%. Last year, 1.6. But here's the one I want you to look at. In 2021, 2020, okay? We saw 25% gains, but that was off the back of the pandemic and everything kind of drawn down. Then you look at what happened in 2021. The end of the year, we saw 6.89% downward, right? Downward price action. You also take a look, some of the larger ones. This was back in 2014. We saw 16% drawdown. And then 2015 was a huge year for Bitcoin. And so historically, we typically tend to see, outside of a few anomalies, mild to moderate drawdowns in the price. And then you go back You take a look at the first week of the years. Take a look at 2021's first week. That was the big bull market, right? When we saw the double top for Bitcoin, we have 15.79%. We go back to 2018. This is the last month before we saw that big bear market. We saw 17.7% first week of the year. And so on average, your median return for the first week, you take going all the way back to 2014, has been 3% to the upside, which ranks in the top 5 of all the weeks. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is kind of par for the course. And I forget, someone posted this on X, but you have a slew of things. You have people taking L's on some trades to bring down their tax liability. You have other people that are reallocating their portfolios, but going into 2025, the first month, you take a look at Bitcoin's returns quarterly. Q1 of this year brought us 68%. Q1 of 2023, 71%. Q1 of 2021, which is the thick of the bull market, the largest quarter for Bitcoin was in Q1. And we're about to enter into Q1. And don't even get me started on ETH. Q1 for ETH is the largest gainer, period. Right? Average of 92% on average over the last 7 to 8 years. Ethereum has doubled in Q1. So Q1 is about to be very bullish. Again, I mention this all the time. You got the New Year's resolutions. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start saving money and investing. I think Q1 is going to be a pretty big year for Bitcoin and for crypto. And then you have this as well. Bitcoin greed falls to October levels as Bitcoin fizzles towards the year end. And well, what levels are they talking about? This was on October 14th, the last time we saw Bitcoin's fear and greed this low, which was at a 65. Okay, and we'll go to Bitcoin's chart. That is when Bitcoin drew down around 10%. Okay, leading up to it, drew down 10%. And then once we hit that bottom, October 14th, we saw Bitcoin rally. Well, what has Bitcoin done over the last 14 days, right, since it hit its top? It is down 12%. And so I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen, but we saw what happened after the fear and greed bottomed. We saw Bitcoin rally. Let's just take this first rally, 47%. And then it had a little bit of a pullback, and then it rallied another 14%. And then it rallied to all-time highs from around $91,200 to $108,000. We are seeing Bitcoin start to consolidate. We are seeing on this, at least on the daily here for Bitcoin, a hammer candle, which signifies a potential bottom for this last, 2-3 weeks of price action. So what are your thoughts on where fear and greed is? Currently, Rob, we're at a 65. Again, lowest we've seen since October of this year, where Bitcoin rallied to 108,000.
I don't know so much about where we're at exactly in this moment. Okay, how about this? The fear and greed, when I think it's in between extremes of extreme fear and extreme greed, I don't take much of a measure. I think that it is sometimes good to take a pause, look at the extreme, look at the fear and greed index, and if it's just flatlining into extreme fear, or if it's just throttled all the way up to extreme greed, take that in consideration, right? It is one tool that you can use. Same way, don't go all in on one indicator with trading. Same kind of a concept here. Don't go all in on one indicator. This is essentially what the fear and greed index is. It's an indicator, right? Market sentiment. Now, with that said, you mentioned Q1 next year.
Yeah.
I think 2025, we start off. I mean, where's your and real quick, I did see somebody who's asking about DCAing. What am I DCAing to? We're gonna give you our altcoin project picks here in a little while. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We're gonna kind of go over what we're looking at as far as our altcoin picks. That's the money's about to be made, right? Because where I'm getting at here is Q1 is about to be extremely explosive. One for Bitcoin, but what we just saw out of a lot of these projects, what you just saw out of XLM, what you just saw out of XRP, what you saw out of Cardano, what you saw out of Virtuous Protocol, what you saw out of a list of different projects. you are going to see the next leg, right? Once Bitcoin gets to that 120, 140, 150, $160,000 Bitcoin. And I think that in Q1, we do see $120 plus $1,000 Bitcoin, maybe 130 or maybe 140. That's, do you kind of side with those kind of ranges for Bitcoin sometime within the first 3 months next year?
Yeah.
And that happens. Altcoins are going to explode. And that's why you're here. Give me the camera. Come here. You are here to make money. I hope to God, get out of here. But you are here to make money. And so I hope to God you're watching this to get some alpha and some picks and some plays. Because if you're just simply, and you know what? If you're DCAing into Bitcoin and you're not doing anything else, why the hell are you watching the show?
What do you mean?
I mean, you might be entertained. We're quite entertaining. I'm not going to say we're
nothing wrong with just DCing into Bitcoin, man.
There is nothing wrong with it. But why are you spending your time watching YouTube videos
because they
talking about altcoins?
They like me.
Because if you're watching this, then at this point, I would assume that majority of our audience is here to figure out what is going on in the market, what plays should they make, what is hot, what is trending. Let me get ahead of the news when it breaks. That's why you're watching. So you're watching this to catch the alpha. And what I'm telling you is that next year, Bitcoin's going to explode and altcoins are going to 5x certain ones, 10x certain ones. There's going to be a couple that really kind of lag behind, but pay attention. These are the moments that you take your ammunition and you start buying. And so to answer, I don't know whose question it was, but to answer your question, what am I DCing now? Now that I stopped DCing into Bitcoin, because I think it was when Bitcoin broke over 60,000, I said, you know what? I'm done with Bitcoin right now for the moment. I'll rotate back. I'll come back to you. You know, it's like, you ever had a relationship where you took a break?
Once I sever that cord, I'm done, bro. You get no second chances with me. Unless I'm in desperate.
Okay, see? Yeah, anyways, you take a break. And then you're like, you know what?
Unless that good.
You go out, you go out
come
to
back
the
for
club,
seconds.
you go hoeing it out. You know, you go date a couple crazies. You come back. Be like, baby, sorry, I'm back. Anyways, that's how Bitcoin is right now. And so go out there, do you, get some money. And we're going to give you the alpha. And we're going to tell you what altcoins we like. Because now's the time to pull the trigger. Right? Will Cardano, will they get back down to 50 cents, 60 cents? I don't think so.
I hope so.
Could very well. But I think if that scenario happens, Bitcoin is probably trading under 90,000 for months, right? And the whole Q1 thing doesn't happen.
You know, I took some profits on some AI coins.
Yeah.
I got it sitting in stables. If Cardano gets down to 50 cents, I will deploy every single dime I have on the side.
You know how many people say that?
I'll do it live.
No. Like, you know, the Caspa comments are really good. When Caspa was like 15 cents and we're like, if it gets down to 10 cents, and people are like, if it gets down to 10 cents, I will back up the truck and I will buy. And then I just love going back and revisiting these comments. And I'm just like, hey, did you buy? Did you sell the house like you said? Because it's there.
You know, it's funny.
People say that all the time. You say about Bitcoin all the time, and I know you don't. You're like, oh, man, if Bitcoin gets down to this price, I'm going to sell my house. And then it gets down to that price.
Well, I tried to sell the house. My wife
said, still living there. And so, anyways, what I'm saying.
Kids, pack up. We're going. Where are we going, Dad? I don't know yet, but we got Bitcoin.
And so, it's easy to look at a number and say, when this happens, I'm going to go all in. And you know what? I mean, maybe this is the bottom. And regardless, even if it's not the bottom, compared to where the prices are going to be for certain projects, my favorite projects are guaranteed locks, but for certain projects, you're going to get a massive return from where we're at now. That 80-cent Cardano, we might look back at 80-cent Cardano and be like, damn it, man. I let it slip through my fingers. Why didn't I get it at 80 cents? Same thing I was saying. I'm like, hey, I was beating the drum. I'm like, guys, you are not going to be able to buy a Cardano under 40 cents anymore. Thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail. Me just doing exactly what I'm doing now, barely breathing, just spitting out, go buy Cardano. It's 30-something cents. Did you buy? If you didn't, learn your lesson. Now's a good time to buy your projects, right? Buy your favorite ones.
Okay, so I want to share this. And stay tuned because I dropped some alpha in our whale Discord yesterday. And I posted.
I did update the credits. So big shout out. We got 17 whale members. So we're up from 11.
Yeah.
So if you haven't joined the Sin City Crypto whale membership, you get emojis, you get access to our Discord, you get your name in the credits, you get a badass little graphic that runs that interrupts the show. I love anything that interrupts David. And so if you haven't supported us to the level of whale membership, it's $25. Probably not the best ROI as far as your emojis and stuff, but you do get some alpha in the Discord. Also a little community in there. Everyone's kind of going back, saying Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. So what else? Also, I know you guys have been waiting for the magazine. We are in the very final part of shipping. So it should be mailing out soon. So if you guys have your magazine on pre-order, Crypto Almanac, shouldn't be too much longer. Sorry about the delay on that, but it should be out here soon. But if you haven't got one yet, 2025 is going to be an absolute epic year. We have a magazine called the Crypto Almanac. It's in the description below. Do us a favor, support the channel. If you like the show, if you like what you're watching, do us two things. One, join the whale membership, or get a Crypto Almanac. You get a digital version. You also get the physical copy. It's an NFT. You can sell the NFT later on. Maybe it'll be worth something. Who knows? And then also, it helps us out. I spent too much money on this LED wall behind us.
Yeah.
It's fun, right?
Yeah. Real fun. Anyways, all right. So, couple things. I dropped it in the whale Discord yesterday. Two plays. Okay. So we're pretty connected. Okay. We've met a lot of people. I'm in a lot of different Telegram group chats. I have a lot of insight to certain things and information that some people don't. And so time to time, share that with some of our whale members. I'll be sharing one of those picks that I shared in the whale Discord today. So hang tight. But I posted this yesterday, and I mean it. One of my goals for 2025, if you want a channel, when you think of, hey, AI and crypto, there's going to be one channel that you're going to think about, that you're going to go to get information you're not going to find anywhere else. Is going to be right here. And I'm bringing a guest on Wednesday who is in the trenches, who has worked with companies, has been at high levels with projects like Akash and in hedge funds. And this is the information that the public does not get. And by the time the public gets, the insiders and the whales and the people that get this information have made all their money. And I want you, the viewer, to get this information and be one of those people who makes the money before the public does. That is where real wealth and the massive gains are created. So with that being said, let's take a look here. And I'm hoping that some of our community members were able to get, because you look at the top gainers of 2024, number one has been Virtual's Protocol. This is something that we've talked about on this channel, that Forrest, who joins us every single Friday, has talked about at $15, $20 million market cap. We talked about a little further down, but if you started buying when we kind of put it on your radar, not because we told you to buy it, but because we put it on your radar and you're like, okay, you know what? I want to buy it.
We told you should buy it.
You're up over 15, 20, 30x. Okay. On top of that, the ecosystem plays that we've talked about, AIXBT made a shitload of money on that. On top of that, I showed Rob today. I showed him. You can tell him how much money we've gotten in airdrops from just holding those tokens. A lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
I bet.
And so you look at these coins, right? Turbo is some we've talked about. We've talked about Pepe. We've talked about Mantra. Brett, we kind of got in a little late. Can't hit them all. But I gave you this one as well. I'm just going to show you this. This is last Friday with Forrest. He gave you Misato at 3 million. I gave you Degen Capital at 2.7 million. You can see on the bottom here. It 3x since then. It's at like a $8 million market cap now. This thing is at 2.7 when we talked about it. The one I'm going to tell you today, okay, this was one of the two I shared in the whale Discord yesterday. The other one's a little lower market cap. I'm not going to share that one because I want to respect our whales. It's called YNE, okay? This is at the intersection of decentralized science and AI agents. So what this essentially does is it goes through research papers of peer-reviewed research of like medicine, drug science, and it finds discrepancies and issues. And then it reports that, and then things are made. There was a report done, and this is spearheaded by A16Z. A report was done on flaws in science papers and research papers that led to drugs getting not approved, getting approved, harming people, not harming people. So this is something that a lot of the top investors and hedge funds have asked for in science. And this company, I'm not going to go too far in depth, but what this project is doing is what these hedge funds have been looking for. And this thing does have ties to some of the largest hedge funds, sitting at a $26 million market cap. Again, very high risk, but you're not going to get those very high rewards if you're not willing to take some risk. I'm not telling you to go buy this. I'm just putting it on your radar. To be, as a disclaimer, I own this personally. The company also owns this as well. This is not in the virtual ecosystem. The other one I gave was in the virtual ecosystem. This one is not. This one's actually on Solana. But this is one, 26 million market cap. Could it get to 100? I think it can. 5x, potentially more. It's got a lot of money behind it. And it's a very unique utility and use case. And you can see here the chart on the 1 hour. It's gone through some consolidation, which is what you want to see. And so here's one. The other one you guys got in the whales, in the whale Discord. And so if you want some of that alpha, join the whale Discord. You support the channel, but you also get some great information as well. I want to go to this. This is very interesting. But before I go to this, I just want to give a big thank you to our sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by CAMS, Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business, you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, there is one company that we will recommend and that always will be CAMS, Blue Wire Technology. Take it from us personally. We've used them. They've helped us out. Honestly, the streaming software and everything we do now would not be possible without CAMS. So big thank you to them. Visit their website or click the link in the description of this video. All right, Rob, pay attention. This is an interesting one. Grayscale just released their top 20 for Q1 of this year, or next year, okay? Take a look. Let's pull this up on the screen. This is Grayscale. This is their top 20. Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, SWI, Uniswap, Hyperliquid, AAVE, BitTensor, Athena, Optimism, Virtual Protocol, Lido, Helium, Arweave, Jupiter, Aerodrome, Akash, Jido, and Grass. Okay. And it tells you what sector they're in. And I'm seeing you have a lot of utilities and services. And where does virtuals? Consumer and culture. There's only one of those, and that is Virtual Protocol. And it tells you what the theme is, right? For Bitcoin, it's macro and adoption. For the virtuals, it's AI and the base ecosystem. Akash also fitting into AI, as is Grass. Athena is one that I talked about wanting to pull the trigger at sub 90 cents. I did cave a little bit. I did drop to under $1. I bought some. But I'll deploy a lot more if it does get under 90 cents. I'm trying to stay, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplined here, okay? Trying to stay disciplined. I know it's hard because when it gets that damn close, you're like, damn, just pull the trigger. I pulled it on a little bit, but out of these ones here, Rob, Q1, this is what Grayscale believes are going to be the most bullish. What are your thoughts on overall? And are there any favorites in here that you want to pinpoint?
Let's take a quick peek at something else I got pulled up here.
What do you got?
This is the top gainers in the 24 hours. Number 1, Lido. Number 2, Athena. Number 3, Sui. Sweet. You also got Arweave in here. Uniswap. Interesting.
Yeah,
you named all of those in the top 20. And that, right? You named all of those.
I didn't name them. Grayscale did.
Exactly. And so you think to yourself, you know, is this just coincidence that these happen to move? Maybe they're rallying because Grayscale called them out. I just simply say that, hey, I think Grayscale knows a lot more about what's going on in the crypto ecosystems, what's going on in the altcoin space than you do. They know more than we do. We're pretty plugged in, but I think that Grayscale probably has a little bit more finger on the pulse, right? And so for that reason, take that into account. I don't disagree with any of those. Were there any on that list? I would like to say, oh yeah, I like this, I like that, but honestly, I don't think there's anything on there except for maybe what's the new one, the fluid, hyperfluid,
Hyperfluid.
hyperliquid, yeah, hyperliquid.
I
Hyperliquid. I was looking at it.
the fully diluted.
It has only been around for like, I think it's like 3 months or something.
It just launched. Dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like 90 days in. With that said, it's also rallied pretty heavy. The tokenomics behind it, not so great. And so for that reason,
fully diluted, $27 billion. That's pretty
and then
big.
look at its all-time chart. It hasn't even been out for very long.
No, it hasn't. But it's also
When did it come out?
like a month, not even a month ago. Yeah,
Okay.
a month ago.
A month ago. So it's 30 days. So I bring back feelings of when ICP came out. It came out top 10 immediately.
But ICP
And-
immediately crashed. This hasn't. This has gone up.
Yeah, and obviously
This is almost 10x.
I'm not saying what I'm saying is that it's valued a lot higher than I would, and I feel comfortable. So if there was one, I was gonna kind of, I don't want exposure. Are you a buyer of it?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. So outside of that, I like it.
But it's also, but I also understand that I could be missing out on a lot of gains. But I'm also willing to, like, here's the thing you guys got to remember. Okay. You're not going to get every one of them. You're not going to catch every 100x. You're not going to catch every 50x. You're not. You're going to miss out on some stuff. Unless you like, I don't know. You just are. Be happy with the gains you make and just make sure that you don't fall victim to opportunity costs. You have your money parked in a project that is not going to do shit, and you could have deployed that capital into something that is going to do something. And so that's the only thing I'll say is don't get upset when you don't hit every single one, every 50x that comes out of play. If you miss on Hyperliquid, it's okay, guys. There's going to be plenty more.
Well, here are a couple things. Look, I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth here real quick. So first of all, big shout out to Wicked, 5 gifted memberships.
Nice.
So much appreciated. Can I get a round of applause for my boy? Look at some sound effects.
Wicked awesome, man.
Now, big shout out there. Also, we got a lot of new names here. I'm going to tie this in here in a second. We got Chef X3, The Smith, Dan K, Fahad, 100 Years, Free Yacht Currencies. See what you did there? You also got Baby Slick, Alex 81, Glenn Wharton, Holy Free, North KC, LOL, Cruncha, Veteran Crypto, Holy Free. Also, I am. He said, talk about most coins. Should I buy them all? He's basically saying you talk about all these damn coins. How could I buy them all? We'll get to that in a second. Also got John Connors, Frank Finance, Hawk A, Lasagna Something, A Quack, Crypto Finder Software, C Long Acre, and Mr. Miles. To all of you, hola! Viva! Welcome. But Viva! I want to get back to what I was saying. He was saying, how can I buy all of these? You were too bullish on too many altcoins. Well, there's a simple answer for that. We're in a bull market. There's going to be so many altcoins that crush it. Will we get them all right? Unfortunately, no. But I think we'll get majority of them right. I think we'll get 80% of them right. I think we'll get 90% of them right. And so for that said, we are looking at a very broad horizon because you know what? The altcoin space is very broad and money is going to pour into tons of projects and you're going to miss some. And so what David's saying is that like, hey, don't park all your money in one project and miss the bull market. Same reason we don't talk about just our favorite 2 projects because there's other ones out there too. And you never know. Like no matter if it's Bitcoin, no matter if it's Ethereum, Caspa, ICP, Cardano, don't go all in on just one. I don't care how bullish you are. I don't care if you got all the merchandise, you've met the devs. I don't care. Spread it out a little bit. Spread it out somewhat, right? Because you never know. I mean, there could be some 3-factor or the what's the key thing? The 3 keys.
Multi-sig.
The multi-sig could be a multi-sig vulnerability. Could be just that gets left behind. You never know. I mean, maybe Ethereum never breaks 5K. I don't think it's that likely, but you never know. I mean, what if you got your entire net worth in Ethereum? You know what? Interest just goes over to Solana. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. And so basically what I'm saying is that like you need to pay attention. You need to have more than one play. You know, if you're playing poker here, don't just play with one card or the 3 on the table, right? Take into account other options. You know what? You have other outs, you got other plays. Don't go all in on one. Don't go all in because you got pocket 2s and pre-flop.
Or don't only play pocket aces.
Yeah. And so because at the end of the day, if you have that mentality, you're gonna get burned, right? And who knows? Maybe you don't get burned. Maybe you go all in on ICP and you have absolutely nothing else. And ICP 10x's, 20x's, whatever it is, and you kill it. That's what I hope that for everyone. The reality of it is, we're not always right. You're not always right, and if you swing and miss, don't miss on the entire bull market because there's so much money to be made here. Just have some different plays. We're giving you the AI plays. David's giving you some alpha. We bring guests on. I give you the alpha as well. So take this as an opportunity to put in some bets on multiple horses in the race because you never know.
Yeah, and I always say, you should have. Sorry for all the coughing. I'm getting over a cold here. You should have different baskets of different reasons, right? I'm not going to get into this as well, but in your cycle to cycle bucket, right? I'm not talking about your long term. If you want to buy Caspa, ICP, Cardano, and have 80% of your portfolio in there, and hey, this is my long term play, 10 years, cool, that's great. You should have a bucket where you're trading intermittently, right? Cycle to cycle or 5x to 5x, or whatever that number is for you. And these are the ones that you know are the higher risk, but also higher reward. You have your, just like in anything in life, you never go all in 100% on anything unless, you're starting a business with a different story. But at the end of the day, you always want to have a little bit of money, a little bit of investment to play with to make some money. And if you decide to take those profits and pour it back into the bag that you plan on holding for 10 years, fine. But you can play it multiple different ways, but you don't want to sit there and, like Rob said, have all your money in one thing. And sure, you might get a 10x. And if you're happy with that, great. But let's be real here. Majority of people that are watching right now, and there's nothing wrong with this, you're trying to take $1,000 and turn it into 100 or $1 million. You're trying to take 10 and turn it into 10 million. Great. Name me another industry that you can do that in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years. There's really not, unless you're scamming people. And so this is how we do it. Hawk said, how do I join the Discord? There's a link. I'll drop that link in the, Rob, will you drop that link in the chat for me? It's in the show. There you go. So join the Discord. Again, a lot of alpha going around. But for me, looking at this list, I think Rob brings up a great point. A lot of this has to do with DeFi. And you look at what are some big ones. RWeave, I think, is extremely undervalued. I have a lot of RWeave. I actually bought some more on the dip. I think Aerodrome is an interesting one. Here's the thing. With Base not having a token, I know a lot of it's wrapped Ethereum that is settled in, but with Base not having a token, a lot of these Base plays are good ones for the simple fact is, hey, they're not pushing like Solana pushes everything to be settled and paired with Solana token. You can have things that are paired. A lot of it, like I think that's one big reason why Virtuals is ran so hot. It's because every single liquidity pair that is launched on their platform is paired to Virtual. Now it does expand out and pairs to Wrapped ETH, pairs to Solana, bridges over to certain things, sure. But the main one is and will always be for the foreseeable future Virtual token. So which brings sell or buy pressure for the virtual token. So these are interesting ones, right? Aerodrome, Virtual Protocol. Another one that I know you talk about, it's not really sexy, but Chainlink, $20 Chainlink is a huge steal. ETH, will it have another big Q1 like it always does? I think it will. How real quick, how high do you think ETH can go in Q1?
I'm still 8K? I think 8K is probably where I'm at. And what I was about to say before you said 8K was, I think it's on the way to 10,000. I think 10,000, giant psychological number. And so for that reason, I think it falls short of that. So what is falling short of 10K? I think 9,000 realistically. I think 8,500, 8,300, something like that probably makes a lot of sense. Real quick, that's Grayscale's picks. What are your favorite projects for 2025? Some altcoins. Just name me 3. And then we want to know from you, the chat, as well. What is your favorite projects? What are you the most bullish on for 2025? What is it? What are you looking for 2025? 3 projects.
Can we
I'm
keep it in
curious.
the top 100? Because there's so many.
Yeah, keep it in the top 100. Yeah.
Okay, you guys know what I'm all bullish on, okay? If I don't name your project, don't freak out, okay? There's a lot to be bullish on, okay? But for me, the ones I am super, super bullish on for 2025, and this is in no order: Avalanche, Virtuals Protocol. Put me on the spot, and I'll put RWeave in there. RWeave, Avalanche, and Virtuals. And that list is not limited. It's just the 3 that came to mind. I'm very bullish on ICP. I'm very, very bullish on Cardano. I'm very bullish on Caspa. I'm very bullish on Chainlink. I'm very bullish. Like, there's a lot to be bullish on. But the ones that I have zeroed in on and are continuing to accumulate now are the 3 I just mentioned. Plus more, but he said 3, so I'm going to give you 3. I was going to say Crow. I think Crow's another really good one. But I don't know. What about you?
I think the ones for me, I got a couple interesting ones.
Okay.
I want to throw XRP in there.
That was another one.
I want to throw XRP in there. But when I look at the 3 that I have singled out, I think XRP kind of falls outside those. Really want to pick XRP, but for top 3 next year, call me crazy, but I got to go with Dogecoin.
Okay.
I just think Dogecoin.
What do you think realistically you get out of Doge? $2?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think $3, man.
And what needs to happen for it to get to 3? ETF.
I don't need the thing is for Doge, I don't even think it needs any of that. I think it can get to $3 off of retail. I think if the US comes in, buyer of Bitcoin, hodler of Bitcoin, innovation here, I think that alone will bring in a lot of retail. And I think retail with meme coins, I think people are just going to go right to the top, right? I think people are going to buy Bitcoin, maybe Solana, and I think they're going to go heavy in on Doge. I think a lot of people are going to circle back around on Doge. And I think a lot of people that bought Doge last bull market will see that their position is now in the green, right? And so people that bought Doge at 5 cents, 6 cents back in 2020, 2021, I think they'll look at Doge now and be like, holy crap, I'm up 10x. This thing went all the way down. Doge at one point was at 9 cents. Just back last summer. So 9 cents. And this was all the way up to November. And so, you had a great opportunity to get an early position on Doge. So I think a lot of sleeping wallets, right? a lot of retail will get back into the space just because of how much they're up. And then on top of that, I think a lot of new people are going to come in and just buy Doge. Just the same way we saw it in 2021. We saw it. We saw how much Doge ran in 2021. And it was off the back of new retail coming in and buying meme coins. I think SHIB might lose interest, and I think the interest is going to come into Doge. And then, so there's that. Then there's the ETF, as you mentioned. There's other catalysts.
Let's not forget.
There's also Elon Musk.
The word Doge.
The word Doge. It's no longer a joke anymore, right? I think it's a well-respected. But it's not. It's really not. Someone was asking me, they're like, what can I buy off of Coinbase that you really like? And I said, hey, I was like, you know what? I really, really like Doge. And they're like, more than this one, more than this one. I was like, I'm telling you, I think for 2025, I think Doge is gonna really surprise people. Okay. Going down the list, I am still on Avalanche. I know you said Avalanche. I think the gaming narrative undervalued, didn't perform that well this year. I think it gets its year. I mean, this is on the 1-year chart. It's down on the 1 year. It back in March got to $60. Underperforming, and I don't say that in a negative way. I just look at it as an opportunity cost that has not presented itself. And the gaming narrative hasn't even slammed down yet. We saw AI rally. We've seen DeFi rally a little bit. We've seen meme coins go. We haven't seen gaming take off yet. It will be a narrative this coming year.
You think Avalanche is at the forefront of that?
It has to be. It has to be. Okay, let me ask you a question.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Okay, well, here's the question. Will gaming pop off next year? Will we see a rally? Let's say we see an AI rally. Yeah. Will gaming pop off? Yeah. Then how could you not be bullish?
Real quick, does GTA? I know the GTA has nothing to do with crypto, but does it come out in 2025?
They dropped the trailer. Have you seen it?
The new Grand Theft Auto. We can't play it. We'll get
to I know, but have you seen the trailer?
I have. I think
they're going back to Miami.
Ah.
Yeah, they have the trailer. Let's see. Just find a.
Don't.
I won't play the audio.
No, I think it's the whole thing, bro.
Really?
I think we showed it one time. Yeah.
You know, it was the audio because they have
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So here's the trailer, and then we'll just cut audio there. But yeah, they're going back to Miami, and so this is the trailer. There's been loose rumors about it having cryptocurrency in it. It makes a lot of sense. So really excited. You know what? They don't release games that often, right?
It is 2025.
So fall 2025 here. And so pretty bullish on gaming. Now if there's crypto and GTA, my God.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, gamers are pretty scared. What I would like to see is off the grid on Avalanche, marketplace go live, see how much money is in that ecosystem, how much money that company makes. And I think that Rockstar Games can only ignore it for so long, right? And I don't know. I'm kind of, I think 30% chance that they'll have crypto in it. I still think it's less likely. Now,
last one.
My last one.
I know where you're going.
Is just Crow.
I know.
Yeah, I can't. BitGet token has been, look at this.
BitGet's an interesting one, dude.
So
I'm not a fan of exchange tokens, but what they're doing with the burn and buybacks, it's a lot.
So this BitGet token has been
call me crazy, bro. That thing can get to $100. Look
at this, man. Look at that chart.
That thing can get to $100.
Look at that chart. From $1 to $8 and 3 weeks.
That thing can get to $100, man. It sounds insane. I know. And I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of exchange.
Number 20 on the market cap list. And look, it's number 20.
Rob, the amount of tokens they burned and their buyback, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot.
So Crow, for example, is at number 35 on the market cap list. It gets at 20. What exchange is bigger? And Crow absolutely crushed it last bull market, right? Go look. It got up to 70 cents, 80 cents briefly. And this is a move from like 3 cents during the previous bear market, not the one that we just came through, but in the 2019, 2020, a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies. And it rallied all the way up to 80 something cents. People made a crap ton of money. They incentivize staking. They also can use a token on chain. You can use their metal cards as well. I can't explain to you how dumb you'll feel when this thing is way over $1 in the short term. In the next 90 days.
Okay. I like Crow also.
I just,
how about this?
I'm bullish on Avalanche, but I think Crow is going to make you so much damn money. It's not sponsored by any means by Crow. I'm just telling you, man.
Okay.
This right here is going to be, we're going to look back at this and I'm just going to be like, guys, I tried to tell you. I tried.
Let's do this in reverse. Just one, though. Just one, and we'll end it there. What is one you're absolutely 100% fading? You're not even touching. You don't care if it 20x's. You're just like, I'll take the L on it if it does, but you feel so confident that it's not going to do shit.
All meme coins outside of all meme coins in the top 100 outside of Doge.
You got to list one, bro.
Pepe.
Really? You're fading Pepe? I'm not fading Pepe.
I just don't want exposure to meme coins at this point. I think that making a play on anything pick me a meme coin and then just look within the market cap of plus or minus 10. So Bonk at number 50. Would you rather have Bonk or Cosmos?
Would I rather have Bonk or Cosmos?
Yeah.
You're not going to like this answer. I'd rather have Bonk.
Okay. Would you rather have Caspa or Bonk?
Caspa.
Would you rather have Athena or Bonk?
Athena.
Would you rather have... Okay, let's go down to the next one. I'm just giving you ones that are in this. Floki or Lido?
Lido.
This is what I'm saying. It's not that I don't believe that they'll make money. I'm not saying that you won't look back at meme coins and be like, damn it. But for me, I look at these meme coins and I'm just like, man, there's just so much surefire money in the same range, right? Pepe. Would you rather have Near or Pepe?
Near.
Athena or Pepe?
Athena.
Uniswap or Pepe?
Uniswap.
That's my point. My point is I don't have confidence in these. Now, I will easily make this argument with Doge against the bunch as well. You know, Shiba Inu or Chainlink.
Come on, man.
Okay, Shiba Inu or Hedera. That's my whole point. Is that I know I'm gonna make a killing. I know I'm gonna crush it with the altcoins that I've been eyeballing. I know it. I don't know it for the main meme coins. I don't. And so just from like, hey, I want to make a lot of money next year. That's how it is. So
Chris Morales, $10 super chat said, are you guys looking into Vapor on Hype, next Virtuals Protocol, Agent Launchpad? You're seeing a lot of projects step into this. Avalanche just announced they're doing AI. Solana's new AI agent thing. I was actually looking into Vapor. I was kind of like dipping my toes in on the research side over the weekend, but haven't really dug deep. I'm sure there's a lot of plays out there. I love what Virtuals is doing. I'm actually going to be interviewing their founder next week. Super excited for that. And so I'm telling you guys, you want AI, you want to make money in AI, this is the channel you're going to want to go to find that info. That'll do it for the show today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We got a lot of exciting things lined up for 2025. We're going to kick it off with a bang. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's going to be a lot of money up for grabs. And so we're super excited for that. So make sure to stay tuned to find out. Also, we'll be dropping a Hedera video today. Last week, we did a bunch of 2025 prediction videos that really landed well with the community. And so we're going to extend that out to Hedera today. Some like real thought out numbers-based predictions, not just random, I fucking saw it in my dream. Hedera's going to $10. This is backed by actual numbers and math and dominance of what we think Hedera. So if you're a fan of Hedera, you know someone's a fan of Hedera, make sure to share the video with them. And anything else? That's it. Also, big shout out to Chase filling in for Rocco. Great job, man. Crushed it today. You crushing some trades back there or what? Yeah. You know how you know this man's starting to make money on trades? Look at his hair. Look how long his hair's got. Boy, he's got no time to get a haircut because he's too busy in trenches. Anyways, with that being said, Chase, roll the outro. If you're a new whale member, make sure to stay tuned to the end of the credits. You'll see your name pop in there. Also, if you're not in our Discord, join our Discord. If you're a whale member, I'll add you to the whale chat so you can get all the alpha first. That being said, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the whale members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us meme coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado